Hey, soul survivors, we're going to talk about cohabitation, living together before marriage. Is it a good idea? And why maybe we should think about it a little bit more. So, if your end goal is to be married to somebody, that when we cohabitate, a lot of times it serves its purpose. You get to have the person with you, and you get to know each other better, and you also can share finances. And the problem that does arise, and this is kind of the reason why a lot of these marriages have a higher increase of ending. They say that the first year, if you've been cohabitating, is easier than just being married and starting to live together right after a wedding. But the reason is you've kind of already been through some kinks. And that first year, if you did get married after cohabitating, would be easier, but then it has a increased decline as opposed to coming into a marriage and then moving in. So be aware that there is an increase in divorce. So if you want a marriage, part of the reason is when you cohabitate, you're trying each other out. A lot of people go into that kind of relationship with that mindset. So they're trying you out and then they might accept it and move on, get married with you, or you risk that chance of a breakup. So that can leave you devastated if you are the one who gave up your household. Also, it causes a lot of hassles with who gets what, and you really don't have the court's backing a lot of times. Depends on where you live. But the thing is you form bonds when things are a little bit more difficult because then you have to invest in it. So in the beginning, if you are waiting, being anxious, like looking forward to type anxious, excited about the possibility of this future. So you're starting to have different brain chemicals going on as opposed to this is it. We've already moved in together. And when somebody invests in something or someone, it takes on a different meaning. And when you are just cohabitating, are you fully vetted in the relationship? Because a lot of people will go into it like take it or leave it kind of thing. We'll see what happens. And, when you guys are sexually active with each other, that you're giving yourself to somebody who's not fully invested in you. And that's where some of the devaluation comes in, and some of the seeing ourselves as who we are we somebody to be valued, to fully invest? So it's up to you what you guys do. This is a judgment-free zone, but it is important to know that the divorce rate is higher if you cohabitate. And a lot of times, once, they already have it, why buy the cow when the milk is free? So they're less motivated to get married. They're already having everything that they want. And then also too, some of the decision making that they might make, it might be like, okay, it's a tax break, so I'll marry you. It isn't because they love you. So at the deepest level, some people believe in marriage, some people don't, but I also see some people give it like a certain time limit. And if we're together for 5 years, it should be because you love each other, not because it worked for 5 years. It should be because we love each other, and you should have that feeling motivating you instead of a calendar year motivating you. It's just a different motivation, a different way of looking at things. So if you want somebody fully invested in you, if you give up sex to them, and if you're helping pay the bills, you're giving them all the benefits of marriage. And then sometimes kids come into that equation, and you deserve to be fully loved and not tried out. A lot of times that'll affect your self-esteem. If you guys do break up, it causes you to feel like, what is it that wasn't good enough about me? We lived together and then you left me. People go into marriage a lot of times with the wrong attitude, where we can just get divorced. If they had the right kind of attitude, it's, we're going to make it through. We're both people truly want this marriage to work. That's when it works. But if it's a tryout or, you know, not fully committed to making it work, they're going to start picking it apart instead of seeing the blessings that are in the relationship. And a lot of times with the narcissistic relationship, they look at the negatives. We're human. We all have flaws. We all do things, you know, sometimes not the correct way, but there's less forgiveness in a narcissistic relationship. They won't forgive you. They will hold grudges. They will give you silent treatment, not talk things through. Everything has to be their way. And you're left in this traumatic state. It gets confusing with that love bombing stage where you think everything is going to be perfect, but things move really fast with the narcissist. And then you kind of become trapped. Maybe your finances are all mixed in. Maybe now there's a child that mixes things in and you feel bonded, but is the bond a love bond or is it a situational bonding? Because the narcissist, they have a different way of looking at things. And they're easily distracted, easily bored. And over time, they see the negatives because they want something perfect. They believe they deserve this absolutely perfect thing. And we want something perfect too. We're, you know, let's be honest with each other, but we are willing to put the effort in. And the narcissist isn't. So it's just something to think about if you're considering living with someone before getting married. Depends on if you want to be married. But stay true to yourself. You know, it takes away their motivation to marry you because they already have everything, all the benefits. So I wish you luck on your journey for love, but love yourself first and know what your own boundaries are before being too afraid to lose somebody because they don't respect you. Because people are often afraid of losing someone. So they sacrifice their self-worth because they're too afraid of losing someone. And that's when you lose yourself. Don't lose yourself. You're worthy.